Changing your values is the only way to permanently change your life. It is not enough to simply start new habits or adopt a new identity or change your environment or to become more disciplined. These are temporary fixes that, if implemented, may work in the short term, but in the long term, you will resort back to the behaviors that align with the things you value most. So, if you value entertainment over education, you will never prioritize reading over binging Netflix. If you value lust over love, you will never prioritize real relationships over watching illicit content online. If you value your career over your family, you will never prioritize family time over squeezing extra hours out of your work. Your values make up who you are, and you can never escape who you are because no matter how far you run, who you are will always follow. Most of modern self development, unfortunately, is not focused on improving who you actually are, i.e., your fundamental character, your worldview, your values, your principles, etc., but it is focused on improving who you appear to be, using techniques to temporarily manipulate your personality to fit situations instead of changing the substance of your fundamental character. This is why there is so much content out there, such as how to be more likable, how to come off as high class, how to influence people, how to become powerful, how to be more charming, how to attract women, how to dress, what to say in X or Y scenario, etc. Any philosophy that is focused on improving your appearance, i.e., techniques to help you paint an image of a better person, rather than improving your essence, i.e., wrestling with your values, your motives, your worldview, your character, to actually help you become a better person, is doomed to fail. And that's because there's no shortcut to true character development. And if you ignore character development when it comes to self improvement and instead focus on techniques to appear better, then it is like focusing on the 5% of the iceberg above the surface and ignoring the 95% that is underneath. You will become a superficial person with superficial values. And at some point, that superficiality will hurt you and hold you back from the meaning and fulfillment you were searching for in the first place. The superficial values I referred to exist in every subculture of self development that exists online, whether it's NoFap, bodybuilding, advice on attracting women, or entrepreneurship. And today, we're going to go through every single one of these. If you are invested in the subculture of attracting women and you followed, like, the 5 things that a man does that make women obsessed, and you successfully attract a woman, this same content is not going to teach you how to maintain a healthy long term relationship with that woman, nor will it give you an effective philosophy on relationships in general. And most likely, if your primary concern in your relationship with this person you've attracted is simply maintaining her attraction to the image of yourself that you were trying to create, and you actually aren't, you know, that image, then that is going to cause major relationship issues because the person will see through your facade and she will build resentment, and you will, rightly so, also have resentment because you're going to feel as though she doesn't appreciate the person that you are. But if only you had showed that version to begin with, and if only instead of focusing on appearing to be a good man, you instead just tried to be a good man and encouraged your partner to try to be a good woman so you can base your relationship on a healthy foundation of character development. Okay, so now let's talk about lifting culture. If you binge content on bodybuilding and getting jacked and you gain a huge amount of muscle mass, but you ignore any advice related to cardio, nutrition, managing stress, sleeping well, mobility, strengthening your joints, and instead your sole perspective on fitness is limited to eating a calorie surplus, eating enough protein, and lifting, then in the long term in your life, there will come a day where you realize you are not actually a physically healthy person, despite appearing to be a physically healthy person. It could be that you developed heart problems due to poor nutrition, or you got chronically injured because you neglected your joints slash mobility, or you are chronically stressed and can't sleep because you neglected the mental component of your physical health. Basically, instead of holistically embracing physical health, you only embrace the component of physical health that helps you appear physically healthy, and you suffered in the process. And then on to NoFap culture. If you are invested in the subculture of NoFap and you successfully achieve a high day count, but your perspective on women has actually become negative, and you see women as suspicious and inherently worthy of mistrust, or your perspective on lust has not changed and you still prioritize lust over love and compatibility in your relationships with women, then don't get me wrong, it's still amazing that you were able to get rid of this destructive habit. But since you didn't work on the underlying principles and virtues that should accompany your new lifestyle, then your mentality on women or your mentality on lust is bound to hurt you in your future relationships. And finally, the culture of entrepreneurship. If you are invested in the subculture of entrepreneurship and your mindset has changed to where your identity is now the one of a wealthy person and you're trying to manifest more wealth, or you watched a video on the top businesses to start this year and you chose one and you started working on it at the expense of fundamental business principles such as the why behind your business, having an authentic brand story, or the who behind your business and developing a marketing plan for your target audience, or the what behind your business, which is literally investing time into ensuring the product you are offering is actually solid, something you believe in, stands up to scrutiny, etc., then you may achieve a profitable business, but you will not develop a self sustaining business model that can stand the test of time. Now, look, I want to be clear. I'm not discouraging the idea of taking positive steps towards self improvement. I love self improvement, but real self improvement comes in the form of working on who you actually are, your fundamental values, rather than who you appear to be, which are your superficial values. So the next time you hear self development advice, ask yourself, is this advice asking me to change my appearance, or is this advice asking me to change my essence? And I would suggest to prioritize seeking out the advice that focuses on changing your essence, because that is actually how you improve yourself as a person. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "There's a piece of flesh in the body, and if that piece of flesh is sound, the rest of the body is sound. But if it is corrupted, the rest of the body will be corrupted, and that piece of flesh is the heart." Now, he was not referring to the physical heart, but your spiritual heart. Things like greed, impatience, materialism, hedonism, self amazement, narcissism, arrogance, lust, envy, ingratitude, these are the vices that are at the core of many of our regrets in life. Because it is rarely our circumstances in life that cause our regrets, but it is that our circumstances reveal deep vices within us, and these vices cause us to prioritize the wrong values, make poor decisions, and then cause our regrets. So, if we are looking to become better versions of ourselves, then the best bang for buck activity is not to consume more self development content, but to work on our self awareness, to identify the vices that have corrupted our hearts and work to improve them. Purify your heart to purify your life. That's all for today. Take care. Till next time. Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon you all.